Welcome back to the Phoenix Wright trilogy. And now we are going into the first half of this trial, in which I'm just going to call what is a revisit. October 18th, 10 a.m., District Court, courtroom number 4. Court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Will Powers. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Very well. Mr. Edgeworth, your opening statement, please. The prosecution will show the court that at 2:30 p.m. on October 15th, the defendant, Mr. Will Powers, killed fellow actor Jack Hammer in Studio 1 of Global Studios. It is impossible for anyone else to have committed this heinous crime. The evidence presented during the trial will all point to this fact. I see. Very well, I would like to move on to some testimony. Mr. Edgeworth, the prosecution may call its first witness. Very well. I call a most familiar face, Detective Gumshoe, to the stand. A detective, if you would briefly describe this case to the court. Yes, sir. I'll explain with the guide map here. To understand this case, it's important to grasp the layout of the studio. See? This here is the employee area. The actors did a run-through of their action scenes during the morning here, and no one actually can see plain as day that grate is open. This is the main gate to the studios. The security lady that works at studios was here at 1 p.m. on that day. Past security station, there is a gate, see? Past that are the studios. And nobody actually knows the broken ass mascot. And here it is, Studio 1. This is the scene of the murder, where the body was found. Now, on the day of the murder, October 15th, there were only 3 people here. The victim, Jack Hammer, the defendant, Will Powers, and a young woman, the production assistant. All the production staff were in the employee area until noon. And after lunch, the victim, Jack Hammer, went to Studio 1. Right after that, at 1 p.m., the security lady got to the guard station. Now, a jump ahead later that day, 5 p.m. The production staff came to Studio 1 to perform a rehearsal. Needless to say, the rehearsal was canceled. The time of death was 2:30 p.m. The samurai spear found lodged in the victim's chest was the murder weapon. That's the case in brief. Anyone like to hear that again? Should I listen to that whole thing again? Skip it. I think I could probably remember that. So, okay. So the murder weapon was a spear. How medieval. And the spear has been added. Your Honor, this case is quite simple if you ask one question. And that question is, what did the security lady at the guard station say? Understood. Let's call the security officer to the stand. Will the witness declare her name? Oh God! Ugly old lady. In high definition!
My, aren't you handsome fellow? I'm afraid I'm a bit flustered.
Your name, please.
Oh dear. No need to be embarrassed. Just call me Grandma.
Your name, please! Seems Edgeworth has a bit of trouble getting his witnesses to say their name.
Wendy Oldbag, dear.
You certainly are.
Just call me Grandma. It's practically my name. So even when I was young, I was an Oldbag, but not really that just was my name, dearie. Still, the audience will make fun of me. I would believe it's just... When there was this boy, the captain of the chess club in junior high, and he called me an old bag when I just cried and cried because I had a crush on him, you see.
Thank you. Objection! I object to the witness talkativeness. That face. In high definition! Objection sustained. The witness will refrain from rambling on in the stand.
I was just getting to the good spot, Jared.
Perhaps we can get to the testimony. Now, the witness was stationed at the main gate on the murder of the... Now, the witness was stationed at the main gate on the day of the murder, correct?
Yes, sir, I was.
And to get to the scene of the murder, someone would have to pass by you.
You know you're salty.
The judge is like, he's probably hiding the fact that he's probably blushing at this point. You may begin your testimony. She sure is one hell of a windbag. She sure is one hell of an old bug. She is sure one hell of an old windbag, too. Oh, it's a little faster now. When is testimony? It's a little faster now, but not too much faster. The witness account.
On the day of the murder, I arrived at the guard station at 1 p.m. The poor old hammer and the rest have been doing a run-in through there since morning. I had some errands to run that morning. Anyway, it was when I got to the guard station. I was at the main gate from then till 5. Now, the murder happened at 2:30 p.m., right? Interesting to me because a certain man walked right by me at 2 p.m. It was Powers! That man right there. And he was heading toward the studio.
You saw the defendant then? Mm-hmm. Very well, let's begin the cross-examination, Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. Mm. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7 or 8. You mean this picture right here, man? Take that! An objection. I prefer to say take that instead of objection first. Let me get this straight. Oldbag. I mean, Miss Oldbag. You've been saying since yesterday that you saw Mr. Powers, correct? But you're talking about the man in this photo, aren't you? Just a moment, Mr. Wright. Let me see that photo. No, really, bitch, take that. What is this exactly? None other than the still samurai Tonosoman, defender of New Old Tokyo. Miss Oldbag, Is this the Mr. Powers that you saw?
Of course. Didn't your mama teach you any sense, Sonny? Anyone can plainly see that's Powers, right?
No, they can't! Well, I mean, I wonder. True, Mr. Powers does play the role of Tonosoman. But that doesn't mean Mr. Powers is Tonosoman, the Still Samurai.
I know that. I wasn't born yesterday.
No one in this court is accusing you of that, witness. He's having trouble calling her Oldbag, apparently. However, you do not have proof that the person in this photo is Mr. Will Powers, do you?
Nosy old man. Of course I have proof.
God! Huh?
Even Edgeworth is surprised?
The prosecution would like to ask the witness. Please make known all the information in your possession ahead of time.
How was I to know everyone would be so nosy? You should be ashamed, all of you! Anyway, I showed that photo to the young detective. He told me that this isn't any court of evidence, pal. He didn't even give it a second look!
Let's go! Oh, old Windbag has left even Edgeworth speechless.
She's good.
Let's hear about your proof then. I'd say so. The man in the photo. Let's see. Alright. That's fine.
I never say anything I don't mean, mind you. That morning during the run through all the action scene, I saw Powers trip and fall. He broke one of the props it was weakness. Apparently, he sprained his ankle pretty bad. Now look at this. Now look at that picture. You can see he's dragging his leg. See, clear as day. That's how I knew it was Powers. Happy?
That was 8. So he sprained his ankle. Very well, Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. She's got to be hiding something. I'll press her until she squeals. 1, 2, 3. Hold it! Trip and fall?
Yes, as if he's supposed to be the Sith Samurai. What a laugh! So Power sprained his ankle. I helped make it better for him, of course.
You make it better?
I kissed it where it hurt.
I bet you did. Let's just skip over that part, shall we? Where was the assistant then?
She was cleaning up backdrops, I think. She didn't know about Power's ankle.
You may continue your testimony. Hold it. He broke a prop?
You sure did. His own samurai spear.
His samurai spear. The murder weapon?
Luckily, I was there with my duct tape to fix it.
This strikes me as a significant detail. I'd better write this down in court record. The brick in the shaft has been mended with duct tape. I think we had enough. Haven't we, Your Honor? Well, there's one thing that bothers me. Which is... where is this steel samurai costume now? Actually, well, we couldn't find it. We're looking, though. Anyway, that's not important. The witness did see the steel samurai, yes. And it is clear that the person in the steel samurai suit was Mr. Will Powers. I suppose that's right. Are you sure? You're sure, Your Honor? Let's wait and see. I think I'll wait and see where this goes. I suppose since there weren't any additional crew members at the studio that day, it's quite likely that it was the defendant inside that costume. I see no problem with this evidence. Most perceptive, Your Honor.
He still doesn't seem that convinced to me.
Will the witness continue her testimony, please?
No need to ask twice.
The witness account. Continue. Okay.
The time of Paul Hammer's death was 2:30 p.m., true? The only person go to the studio before then was Will Powers. No one else went there. If they had, I would have seen them.
So, if no one else went to the studio, then it would have to be this Tonosoman who did it. Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. About that witness account.
I smell something faulty in that.
And I will object to the object in question. Number 2, so let's present. I say, Igiyari! Hold on! Look at this photograph one more time. This photo was taken by the camera at the gate for the studios, correct?
Yes, sir, Sonny.
So, whenever anyone passes by here, it automatically takes a picture.
And I thought you didn't know your head is from a hole in the ground.
Right. Anyway. It's also true that the computer in the guard station records all security cam data.
Ooh! You know, if you wanted to work at the studio, we might have an opening.
That very computer printed out this photo. Note that on the back of the photo are printed the words October 15th, 2 p.m., photo number 2.
Even I know that it means it was taken at 2 p.m. on October the 15th, really, Sonny.
Actually, I knew that too. The issue here is the bit at the end where it says photo number 2.
Photo number 2.
The computer only held data for one photo on that day. Don't you think that's odd? Shouldn't this photo be photo number 1 if it really was the only photo? Order! Order! I like a BLT. Extra on the B. And less on the T. Thank you. Please, tell the court what you mean by this, Mr. Wright. Actually, that's what I want to ask the witness. This evidence shows that not one, but two people went to the studio that day. Yet here is only data for one of the photos. Who could have erased the data for the other photo? Only someone with access, the security lady herself. Yeah? Me?
You watch your tongue, whippersnapper. The only person I saw that day was Real Powers.
But the camera on the gate fired twice. That means two people went by.
Well, yes. That's what it was seemed to mean.
Can the witness explain this to the court?
No. I don't understand these newfangled computer things. Itchy boy, help!
Believe me, I want to, but I don't know what this means either.
Some help you are. You're a whippersnapper too. Whippersnappers. Whippersnapper.
Yeah, it's a weapon in Xenogears. I remember that. Something the matter, Mrs. Oldbag?
That's right. I just remember something.
Let me guess. Someone else passed by the gate. Someone other than Tonosoman, the samurai.
Well, yes, I suppose you could put it that way.
I see. Your testimony, please. The other person. That's how I feel about this whole entire case. At least for the first part. That is my rage. Just saying, this bitch.
Every day I finish my guard duties, I have one other important job to do. I go through the photos recorded on the security computer and check them. I throw out any photos that aren't suspicious, you see. Oh, come to think of it, now I remember throwing out one photo that day.
That's only 4. Miss Oldbag! This is the first I've heard of this!
Well, of course, sonny. I only just remembered it.
Right. Anyway, Mr. Wright, please begin the cross-examination.
Well, I'd say this was a turn for the expected, but I kind of expected this.
No, you didn't, Maya. No, you didn't. She only said 4, so I guess we're impressive. Two, three. Four. Mateo! Well, who in the heck was it in the photo you erased?
A fanboy.
In Japanese, it'd be otaku. Otaku? Tonosoman otaku?
Real freaks, if you ask me. They get information about the rehearsals when gosh knows where. They're always hanging about. One was there the other day.
Wait a second. Didn't you just say no one else could get in? I locked the main gate so no one could get in. Those were your words!
Well, if you must know, there's a train that goes into the employee area.
That right there.
The grate has been loose for a while. It is outside, and that's where they come in.
They come in through the drain?
I told you they were freaks. And they're kids. Children. Whippersnappers.
Kids? So on that photo that you erased,
It was a boy. Probably 2nd or 3rd grade.
what? Order! Order! I want Subway. Thank you. Let me get this straight. You saw 2 people pass by the gate on their way to the studios that day. One was Tonosoman, the samurai, dragging his leg. The other was a boy who looked to be in about 2nd or 3rd grade.
Oh yes, Red. We see his type there every day. Can't stop him, can't catch him.
A boy in 2nd or 3rd grade. I assume it would be hard, if not impossible, for a boy to wield the summon spell. Impossible, I think. It's quite heavy.
Right. As I said, I didn't pay him much mind. That's why I erased the data. Nick? I mean, the boy was there. That makes him a suspect.
Yeah, and they're already trying to unsuspect him. This court will take a 5-minute recess. I want the defense and the prosecution to consider this new information. And no forgetting vital information this time. October 18th, 11:08 a.m., District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 3. Mr. Powers? Yes? Tell me straight, were you really in your dressing room? You didn't go to the studio? I didn't go to the studio, I was sleeping, honest!
So who was the Steel Samurai in that security photo?
Oh, I know! The Steel Samurai costume was off in the corner of the dressing room. Anyone could have walked in and taken it, really.
What? Why did you take back care of that stuff?
I couldn't imagine anyone would want to steal a Steel Samurai costume. So, where does this leave me? It doesn't look good. You're the only likely suspect right now.
Nick! What are we gonna do?
First, we play for more time. We'll start targeting someone else that could conceivably have done this.
Right! It'll take them so long to shoot us down that we can get another day.
Right. But if we pick the wrong person, we might lose on the spot. You don't sound very optimistic. I'm not optimistic at all, actually.
Hey Nick, it's time.
Okay. Let's go. What does that mean? Please don't sigh like that. It means you sit your ass down, Beast Man. It's okay. Court will now reconvene for the trial. My phone's going on right now. Checking my messages. I'm so glad that I have Twitter enabled on my phone. Court will now reconvene for the trial, Mr. Powers. Mr. Edgeworth, will you present the prosecution's thought on this matter? The prosecution's thought is simple. Nothing has changed. The other person who went to the studios was a boy of roughly 10 years of age. The photo we do have may not be hard evidence. But there is still no one else that could have committed this crime. I call for a verdict of guilty for the defendant, Mr. Will Powers. Very well, Mr. Thought, you're right. Mr. Wright, you're false. Mr. Wright, you're right. Mr. Wright, you're false. The defense disagrees with the prosecution's claim. There is another person who could have committed this crime. Order! Interesting. Let us hear who you have in mind. However, be aware that this court does not look kindly on accusing the innocent. If you accuse someone who is obviously innocent, you will be penalized. Right. Great. The stakes are high enough. So, who was this person, other than Mr. Powers, that could have committed murder? Are you sure we want to do that? Well, okay. It was the security lady, Wendy Oldbag. Who? The Steel Samurai is dragging his leg in this picture. That means whoever was in the suit knew about that morning's injury. Maybe because they had been watching the action scene run through. There was only one person other than Powers and Hammer who knew about that injury. The security lady, Oldbag.
What? Whippersnapper?
Order! Order! If it's all the same to you, I like to have a sandwich and a pizza, and probably a big ass Caesar chicken salad, maybe a taco salad. Is this true, Oldbag?
Oldbag? That's Miss Oldbag to you?
Miss Oldbag was standing guard alone at the main gate. She was by herself. In other words, she has no alibi. She could have briefly left her post to steal the Steel Samurai costume. Then slipped into Studio 1, the scene of the murder. Why would she go through the trouble of wearing the Steel Samurai costume? Simple, Your Honor. She knew the camera at the gate would take a picture. If she was in his costume, she could point the finger at Mr. Powers. I see. Excellent deduction reasoning. Excellent deductive reasoning, Mr. Wright.
Oh, yeah, right here. Sherlock Holmes II, baby.
That's odd. Isn't this the part where Edgeworth powers? Doesn't he usually jump up with an objection and some new damning evidence? Well, Mr. Edgeworth, does the prosecution have an opinion on this matter? The prosecution has no meaningful objections at this time.
What? What's that supposed to mean? Oh, so you all think I did it, is that it? Edgeworth, don't you sit down to do something?
What's my move? Maybe now's my chance to take this the whole way? The very same reasoning that makes Mr. Powers a suspect in this case can be used to cast doubt on Miss Oldbag's actions on that day.
But why would I do something so horrible to poor Hammer?
You forget that Mr. Powers likes a clear motive too. Indeed. That did it. Now Windbag is one of the suspects. No hard feelings, I hope.
Wait just a minute. What about the other person who went to the studio? The boy! The one whose photo I erased?
Is only a grade school at all, as you said. Second or third, was
it? That doesn't matter. When I was that age, I could pin my own man in 10 second tops.
Your thoughts, Mr. Wright? That boy is not the killer.
What? How can you be so sure? Oh, or is it be nice to the kids and mean to your elders there, whippersnapper?
I have proof.
Proof?
Indeed? Then let's see this proof, Mr. Wright. You have proof that shows the boy could not have committed the murder? Well, it's one of three things. It's either the key card, the picture, and the spear. So, you know what? Bam. Today! Yeah, bitch. Your Honor, the murder weapon was the samurai spear. That very spear is shown here in this photo. How could the boy have taken the spear? It's impossible. That's it. Well, would the witness care to comment on this? The windbag. Speechless. Guess it's got to be a fish. Very well. This court will suspend proceedings on the current trial for today. Mr. Edgeworth, please find out more about your witness, Miss Windy. What was her name? Something Oldbag, Your Honor. And then the prosecution will look further into this Oldbag before we continue. That is all. This court's adjourned. Thank you.
Wait a second! I'm not going to just sit here while you run off barking up the wrong tree. Me! I'm talking! Oh, great. Stop the presses, the windbag wants to talk.
Miss Oldbag, what is this all about? Have you omitted something from your testimony?
Actually, if you must know, there's something I was told not to talk about.
Not to talk about? By whom? Huh? You mean it wasn't Edgeworth who told her not to talk? Well, testify! I'm pretty sure every bit of it will be like an hour. Man, lips were sealed. I bet they were. The studios wanted me to keep quiet about something. There were some other people at the studios on the day of the murder. They said they had nothing to do with it, see. So they told me to just pretend they had been at the studios that day. If you're going to go accusing me, I'm not going to let them get away scot-free! Miss Oldbag! This is crucial information. Why did you keep this from the court until now?
Hey, should be listening. They told me to shut my trap, and I always do what I'm told.
No, this isn't a bad dream, Your Honor. Witness the power of the Oldbag. Mr. Wright, your cross-examination.
They told me to go suck a cock. I mean, whatever that is.
And I say, hold it. Who were these people?
Well, the director and the producer for stars.
The director. We should have known something was fishy. How could they have done a run-through of the action scene without a director? Of course!
Yes, well, I was surprised no one asked about it.
So where were these people?
The director was in the employee area all morning for the run-through. He joined the producer around lunchtime and they had a meeting after that.
Where?
I'm in the Studio 2 trailer. Studio 2?
There was a Studio 2?
Well, if you look at the guide map. Here it is. You go through the gate and all the way to the left.
Where it just said, this way. The path where the monkey's head was falling over. Ugly monkey. Well, Mr. Wright, would you like to continue the cross-examination? I think I've already asked all my questions, but... Nah. Now we're good. Your Honor, we have learned there were others at Global Studios on the day in question. The director and the producer and some bigwigs were all present. Yet, as we stand here, they have not been questioned. I hold that it is impossible to declare a verdict on the defendant, Mr. Powers. The court acknowledges the defense's point. The prosecution will gather more information about the witness, Miss Oldbag, and more information about these other people we have just been told of. I understand, Your Honor. This ends the day's proceedings in the trial of Mr. Will Powers. That is all. This court's adjourned! Chickens. That's all I can say. Oh, man. October 18th, 1:04 p.m., District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 3. Thank you so much, Mr. Wright. I was right to ask you to defend me.
Aw, really, it's nothing. Alright, Jesse.
We'll be going down to the studios to do some more investigating. We have to find out more about this director and producer. They'll be turning up in the next trial as witnesses for certain. So now's my chance to get material for the cross-examination.
So, Nick, have we figured out just who it was in Mr. Samurai costume? Could he really bring old Wim back?
What do you think, Mr. Powers?
I don't think it was her, really. Neither do I, Nick.
Yeah, I know! Look, I was just buying time back there. Someone had to be the bad guy for a bit to take the pressure off Mr. Powers.
Poor old Windbag. I kind of feel sorry for her.
Well, she wasn't winning any points in there, with or without my execution. Okay, let's get down to the studios.
Right! We'll be back to visit you soon. Thanks, guys.
I have a feeling every one of these episodes I'm doing is going to take at least an hour long. An hour to almost 90 minutes compared to the original, which was like, sheesh. Possibly longer than that. But the original, I had to do like almost everything. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to stop here. And in the next part, we go to the second half of investigation. And with that, we'll take things from there. So thanks so much for watching. I hope you have enjoying the revisit so far. And I shall see you again next time. So until then, I'll see you for more of the Phoenix Wright trilogy. Stay tuned for the next part. Thanks for watching.